Hello, my friends, and welcome to the next episode of the Nurse and Strengthen podcast. Today is our third and final installment of our mindset series. Okay, so we have been talking about letting go of limiting beliefs and how to manage your thoughts and make sure that your thoughts are helping you towards the actions and the results that you truly want, right? Today, we're going to be talking about the one piece that is so important. And I might even say crucial. Yeah, I'm going to say crucial. I am. I'm going to say it for reaching your fitness and fat loss and health goals. And that is self-belief. Guys, self-belief has to come before everything else. If you don't truly know deep down that you can reach your goals, chances are you're not going to. And this might be the thing that has been keeping some of you from reaching your goals in the past. So I'm going to talk about why self-belief is so important. I'm going to talk about how to build that self-belief and also how to regularly reinforce that self-belief, okay? So before the diet plans, the meal plans, the workouts, the different strategies, you have to actually believe that reaching your goal is possible, okay? Because without that belief, you're not going to be all in, okay? So let's just take an example here. Let's just take this example of losing 30 pounds, okay? So if you go about this and just think, okay, I think I can lose 30 pounds. I don't know. I'm just gonna see what happens. I'm just gonna see how it goes. So you're doing your thing, right? You're motivated in the beginning because everybody is. That initial motivation is a blessing, right? But about 3 weeks in, motivation always wanes a little bit. So maybe someone brings you a treat. Maybe you're invited to go out and get ice cream. Maybe whatever it is. The first thing you think is, well, gosh, I probably wasn't going to lose that 30 pounds anyway. So I might as well not saying ice cream is bad. I almost said might as well go eat the ice cream. You can absolutely eat the ice cream, but it's what happens after, right? Maybe you let that spiral into a whole weekend of overeating because you think I probably wasn't going to lose the 30 pounds anyway. It's so much easier to give yourself an out from reaching these goals. And that just leads to self-sabotage, okay? It's harder to put everything on the line, talk about your goals to people, and really all in believe them and then not reach them. That is so scary, right? So we kind of self-sabotage as a self-preservation mechanism to kind of keep us safe, right? Because deep down we're like, I knew I wasn't going to reach those goals anyway. So who cares if I mess up, right? So this self-belief, you guys, is what is going to keep you going through plateaus, through hard times, through moments when like the quitting feels easier than being consistent. That self-belief is going to keep you going. Okay. So let's talk about why when you don't have self-belief, it can lead to self-sabotage because like I said, it's easier and safer mentally to kind of get in your own way than risk failure in front of others, but also just in front of yourself and your own conviction. Sometimes having those excuses of like, I wasn't going to do it anyway is what is keeping you stuck, right? It's keeping you stuck in these cycles of starting strong with that initial motivation, losing the motivation because motivation will always go down a few weeks into your journey. And that's what's going to get you to quit early because you're like, I failed every other time I've started this, right? I haven't lost the 30 pounds yet. So why would I think this one is going to be any different? And then you blame it on a lack of willpower or a lack of discipline, but that's not really the problem. The problem really is you don't have that belief. You have this belief gap that's holding you back. Okay. So now you're like, okay, I get it. I get why it's so important, but how do you have that self-belief when it's never worked before? Right? Maybe you've had this goal. Maybe you've lost the weight and regained it or have never really been successful in losing it in the first place. So we're going to talk about how to build this self-belief. Okay. I've got 5 ways that you can build it. Okay. Not all of them might not apply to you, but hopefully you can grab a couple of these little nuggets and they might help. Okay. So number 1, look for evidence in others. We're going to stick with this 30-pound loss example here. Okay. Has anyone else in the world, has anyone else ever lost 30 pounds? Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you know someone in your own personal life who's lost 30 pounds before. So can we agree that it is possible to lose 30 pounds? Yeah, think we could all agree, right? There's an example of this. It's like a historical example, and I'm going to get it wrong. I know I am. But I think it was like running the 4-minute mile. I probably should have researched this before I hit record, but nobody could do it, right? No, I pretend if it's not the 4-minute mile, if it was like the 3 or the 5 or whatever, let's just, just roll with me here. But the minute the first man ran a 4-minute mile, guess what happened? Other people started doing it too, because they were like, wait a second, if he can do it, I can do it, right? So if someone else can lose 30 pounds, you better believe you can do it as well, okay? Number 2, look for evidence in yourself that you can do hard things. Okay, so maybe you haven't been successful in losing 30 pounds before, but you've done other stuff that's hard, right? Maybe you've raised kids all the way to adulthood. Maybe you've progressed in your career to a place that's pretty darn inspiring. Maybe you've pushed through really hard workouts. Maybe you've overcome just emotional and physical setbacks in your life. Look for examples in your own life where you have done hard things. And then you're like, you know what? I did that. I can absolutely lose this 30 pounds. Even if it's hard, guess what? It's supposed to be hard and I can do hard things. Okay. Number 3, look for small daily confidence habits. Okay, so this is small things. These are small things you do every day that fulfill small promises to yourself. Okay, so maybe you set a little goal to make your bed every day, to set your tone of your day off right. Maybe you want to get a walk in every day first thing in the morning. Maybe you want to hit your protein targets. These are little micro proofs that you can be consistent with something, okay? Maybe you haven't been consistent with the efforts required to lose 30 pounds, but you're seeing examples in your life that you can be consistent with things, right? One example I love is lifting weights. Lifting weights is amazing at building belief because assuming you're lifting weights correctly with progressive overload techniques in your program, you're watching yourself get stronger every single week. And you're looking at the notes you're taking from your weightlifting and you're thinking, okay, last week I did that much weight. This week I'm going to see if I can do more. And guess what? You do more. This is proof to yourself that you can push through hard things and you can get better at something, right? So if you can do hard things, you can build consistency and habits. You can apply those things to losing 30 pounds, right? Number 4, borrow that belief from others. Do you have someone in your life that is like your hype girl? Maybe that is a fitness coach. If you work with my team of coaches, you absolutely have this person in your corner. Maybe it's a mentor. Maybe it's a sister. Maybe it's a best friend that can kind of hold space for this vision for you until you believe it for yourself. Okay. You need to find that person and tell them, like, I need you to believe in me. I don't really believe in myself quite yet, but I need you to believe in me until I do believe in myself. Okay. So many of our Moxie clients, they are successful because they trust in their coach's confidence in them, even before they feel it on their own, right? Their coach is like, you can do this. I know you can. I've seen women in your same position do these things. I know you can do it. And they're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it, but if you think I can, I don't want to let you down. That's the power of coaching. Okay. And then number 5, visualize the outcome. When you're going to sleep at night, fun fact, when you're falling asleep at night and waking up in the morning, these are the times when your subconscious is most receptive to visualization. Okay. So when you're falling asleep, when you're waking up, don't just hope for the result. I want you to visualize yourself there. Picture what it feels like to be 30 pounds lighter. How do your clothes fit? When you're pulling on those jeans, how do they just slide right up over your hips and easily button and you look in the mirror and you're like, dang, I look good, right? Picture what that's like. Picture what it's like to go throughout your life in this goal version of yourself. Picture how you live, the foods you eat, how you work out, how you carry yourself around others. This is really, really important. And it doesn't take much, 5 minutes a day, maybe as you're falling asleep or waking up in the morning. So important. Okay, let's recap here. How to build the self-belief if you don't have it already. Look for evidence in others that they have done the thing you're trying to do. Number 1, okay? Number 2, look for evidence in yourself that you have done hard things before. Number 3, look for habits you've been consistent with and build confidence in those that you can be consistent with other habits as well. Number 4, borrow that belief from someone else until you have it for yourself. And number 5, visualize your outcome. Okay, so how can you remind yourself on a regular basis of this belief, right? Because it's easy to be like, okay, I'm motivated right now. I'm going to build this self belief. Okay, cool. But then, like I mentioned, a few weeks in, motivation goes down. Your self belief's going to go down too. Okay, so we have to regularly work on this and work on enforcing this self belief. So I have a couple of ways to do that. Number 1, affirmations and journaling. Okay. Do this every morning when you wake up. Choose a couple affirmations that you love. Maybe that is, I am someone who follows through with my habits, or I am someone who reaches my goals. I am someone who believes in myself at reaching my goals. And the more you see these words, the more you write them over and over and over, the more your brain normalizes them and starts to believe them. Okay. Number 2, celebrate the mini wins. Every little step counts, you guys. Picking a protein heavy lunch, getting up right when your alarm goes off, adding 5 pounds or one more rep to your squats or to an exercise at the gym. Celebrate these things and figure out a way to celebrate them. I'm not talking about like big rewards you have to, spend money on or anything, but even if it's just a little dance, a little bit, you go girl, like in your head, just a little hype dance, that works. Okay. Because these little mini celebrations really send a little hit of like reward to your brain, and you want to reinforce these things. So you're going to look for those little mini wins. Okay. Number 3, surround yourself with people who push you to be better. Be around women who have done what you want to do, okay? Because their proof makes your belief grow. That's the whole thing of like looking for that example in others. If you're around those people all the time, you're going to believe it even more, okay? And this last one is really important. Actually, I have a couple more here. Detach from the timeline, okay? Belief can be hard when you're like, I'm going to lose this 30 pounds in exactly 90 days. Okay. Because there's a little bit more room for self-doubt. Like, well, what if it's not exactly 90 days? What if it's a little bit longer? And like, truly the timeline doesn't matter, right? As long as you're moving in the right direction, that's what matters. So switch that for, I know I will get there. It doesn't really matter how long it takes, right? Our brains don't work in time frames like that, because the minute you start doubting it's going to happen in 90 days, the doubt creeps in that if it's even possible. Okay. So patience is super important, and patience is going to strengthen that belief, especially when progress feels slow. Because if you have a timeline attached to it and progress is feeling slow, you're going to start doubting that you can even do it, right? But instead, be like, it doesn't matter when I do it. I know I'm going to get there. Okay. And the last one that's so important is to reframe your setbacks. Okay. So instead of I failed, think this is just data, and I learned one more thing that's going to stand in the way of me losing the 30 pounds. Because every obstacle is proof that you're still trying. It's proof that you're still working towards that goal. So if you come across a scenario where, like, let's say you do go out to ice cream and you do come back and like you get stuck in the mentality of like all or nothing, and you think, well, I already ate the ice cream, so I might as well throw in the towel and eat X, Y, and Z and start over on Monday. But Tuesday comes and you're like, man, I'm working so hard on this. Why did I do that this weekend? You don't think I failed. You don't think I'm starting over. You think, okay, that's what happened this time. What can I change so that it doesn't happen again next time? Okay. Because that obstacle, like I said, is proof you're still working towards your goal, or you wouldn't have even thought about it. You would have just been like, okay, this is what I do now. Right. But the fact that you realized that it was a problem and you want to fix it is proof that you're still trying. All right, takeaways here. This is a really, really important topic, okay? Self-belief is not just like a, yeah, cool, I should try. Like, no, this is the foundation of your fitness transformation. You have to have it. Without it, your motivation is going to fizzle. You are going to blame it on willpower. You're going to blame it on lack of discipline, and you're going to give up, okay? With the self-belief, you are going to find a way through every hard thing because you know you can, and there's no time frame associated with it, okay? You don't have to be 100% confident right now, but you do need to decide that you are willing to try to believe that you can do this, okay? So I know you can do it, guys. If you have a sister, a best friend, a coach, a mom, a something or other to feed that belief into you until you believe it yourself, go that route. But in the meantime, I'm here. I believe in you. I got you, okay? I'll see you guys next week.